Okay, one thing I do want to go back to is the crazy decision that Larry Elder made before his humiliating defeat in California to start claiming voter fraud before we even had the election results. He saw the writing on the wall. And this is also a very Trumpian approach now, a very Trumpian tactic. Say it's rigged. If I didn't win, it must have been rigged, because a true election, a fair election, an honest election would have resulted in me winning. This is the approach. And I want to remind people, we should not forget that this is what they did. This is an article from yesterday. Larry Elder prepares for California recall loss with lawyers and a voter fraud website. With less than a week to go until the California recall, some Republicans are falsely claiming votes are rigged in favor of Democrats and suggesting without evidence that Governor Gavin Newsom can only win with fraudulent votes. The claims are unsubstantiated and echo similar false messages promoted by Republicans last year following the election of President Joe Biden. We wondered if this would be the new tactic applied to any election they lose, and so far the answer is yes. Larry Elder, the top polling Republican, is already planning to challenge the recall results if Newsom survives. Elder told reporters in Los Angeles on Wednesday he believes there might very well be shenanigans, but he expects to win anyway. Elder said his campaign nevertheless is ready to file lawsuits and encouraged people to report any issues. We have a voter integrity board all set up. Most of these are lawyers. We're going to file lawsuits in a timely fashion. A link on Elder's campaign website labeled as Report Election Incident took users to a form to report incidents of voter fraud and sign a petition to investigate the results of the recall. Understand that they had a petition to investigate the results 2 days before there were any results. Now, after we reported this yesterday, and so did the Sacramento Bee and others, they changed the site. OK, they removed the petition to do an investigation of the results, apparently realizing it looks really bad to do that before there are actually any results. Now, we also have clips reminding us of their strategy. Here is an interview that Jacob Sabaroff from MSNBC did with Larry Elder on Monday, multiple times asking Larry Elder, will you commit to accepting the results? And Larry Elder was slippery, to say the least.
Larry Elder, the leading Republican candidate, would not commit to accepting the results of the election.
Again, whether or not you win or lose, will you accept the results of the election tomorrow?
I think we all ought to be looking at election integrity, no matter whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. Let's all make sure that the election is a fair election. So let's all work together, no matter what the results are, to make sure that the results are valid and legitimate, and everybody who voted should have voted. Let's all do that together.
Is that a commitment to accept the results of the election tomorrow?
Let's all do that together. Let's all work together on both sides of the aisle to make sure that the election is a fair election.
Now, to his credit, Larry Elder did concede last night or early this morning. And based on what we know right now, this might change in the next couple of hours. Based on what we know right now, it doesn't actually seem like he's going to be pushing anything. And part of the reason why is when you lose so overwhelmingly, so humiliatingly, what is even the plausible mathematical case for this? Not that there really was one with Trump and Biden either, but this is just a different animal altogether. Trump was also getting ahead of this by saying in advance, this was last week, that it seems they already rigged it in California.
We've got the recall election coming up in less than a week. It's actually happening as we speak. The polls appear to show Newsom looks safer at this point. Larry Elder is the man that could take it from him. What do you think happens in California?
Yeah. Well, it's probably rigged. They're sending out all ballots. It's all the ballots are, mail out, mail in ballots. In fact, I guess you even have a case where you can make your own ballot. When that happens, nobody's going to win except these Democrats. So, look, they're very good. The one thing they're good at is rigging elections. So I predict it's a rigged election. Let's see how it turns out.
So this is the same playbook. I mean, it's not just Larry Elder using the same playbook as Trump. Even Trump was involved in using the same playbook and applying it to the California gubernatorial recall. So in terms of Larry Elder actually getting a petition going for voter fraud investigation before the election, maybe they accidentally published the page too early, or maybe not. And then once they realize this looks really disastrous, we're going to pull the page down. But it is increasingly clear that this is going to be a tactic for Republicans for some period of time. It will be really interesting to see. And, there's so much up in the air about the November 22 midterms. If they get crushed in November of 22, Republicans, that is, they will have trouble pulling the "it was all rigged" thing, because it's just going to be like, come on, again, guys, you're just losing, and you're losing badly. If it's close or Republicans narrowly take the House, but not by that much, they will start arguing, hey, you know what? We took the House by 3. We really should have taken it by 40, but they rigged so many elections. So I believe this tactic is going to rear its ugly head again. And when you can't win on policy, you try to go with ad hominems and then claim that they stole the election for you. Let me know your thoughts. How long is this going to be the Republican tactic? You can find me on Twitter at dpacman. One of our sponsors is SteadyMD Primary Care, the easier and more affordable way to do primary care. And they're giving you 50% off because you are in my audience. You just answer a few questions. SteadyMD will match you with a licensed primary care physician that's tailored to your needs. You'll have a 1-hour virtual appointment and start a meaningful relationship with your new doctor. And from then on, your doctor will be available to you by text, phone, and video chat. It's not some random doctor on call. Your SteadyMD doctor has a limited number of patients. You get the attention you deserve, and they can help you with anything your primary care doc normally would. It's very cool how it works. You don't need insurance. It's just $99 a month, no other fees or copays for visits. Take the free quiz and see which doctor is a perfect fit for you. You'll get 50% off your first month when you go to steadymd.com/Pacman. No risk, no long-term commitment. The link is right underneath the video.